Hello everybody, this is Luke and Load from Panic Gaming, here today to do another League of Legends gameplay of our Wood to 5 Diamond Series. Wood to 5. Why do I always say Wood to 5? Wood 5 to Diamond Series. Why is it so hard to say my own series name? Oh my goodness, I've done that so many times. Anyways, look guys, I apologize for not getting a video out last week. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit shot, and I actually got sick last week before heading on my vacation, and so I didn't have time to finish this video or the voice to necessarily do it. But anyways, we're back at it again, finally, with some League of Legends content, and this week is going to be about the support role. As you may have heard in my last video, I talked about kind of the channel updates and doing just one League of Legends video a week. And part of the reason is why I got upset at League of Legends is because it just takes so long to play a game. You know, it takes 20 minutes to get into game sometimes, and then you gotta play 40 minutes of a game. So it takes upwards of an hour to play one game. That can be pretty frustrating, especially on a shorter schedule. So recently, for last week at least, I've just been auto-filling, and of course when you auto-fill in League of Legends, you know what that means. It means you have a 99% chance of getting support. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I don't normally play support, but I thought it'd be a good way to work on my support skills, as well as just bring up my total awareness of the game, because playing other roles somehow gets you in the mode of how other people are thinking while you play the game. So you can see that this first game I started out pretty well, actually, with some hooks. My Vayne gets caught a couple times, but I'm able to get myself a couple kills, which is not really what you want as a support, unfortunately. Sorry, not my Vayne. My Kalista is my ADC in this game. Have you guys ever seen a Kalista ADC recently? I feel like it's pretty rare nowadays. It's kind of crazy, and it's kind of weird for me to play with, honestly. It kind of tripped me out all the times that she threw me into team fights. Like this one right here, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot her ultimate throws me, and I don't have control of when she does it. That's kind of weird, especially when you're not able to communicate. But you can see that we're not actually doing too bad. There's a couple of times that she dies, but here we're able to kind of turn it around as they overcommit. Wow, that was a terrible hook. Oh, please no one watch that. Got screwed over by that LeBlanc. But if you've been watching, they get a couple kills on us, but I'm able to make a couple good hooks, and I feel like I've been trying Blitzcrank, and because that's what most people say when you're looking for a carry support, choose Blitzcrank, because he's the one that can make plays, set it up for your team. He makes things happen, and which I agree. The problem with him, though, I feel like, is that if your laning phase goes bad, your whole game goes bad. It feels, I don't know, it just feels like either you do really good and you win the game for your team, or you do absolutely nothing, and then there's just frustration. You're missing hooks, you're doing everything wrong, and your team just gets screwed. So I actually feel like we could have won this game. I feel like in these last couple plays that you may have been watching, that's when the throws kind of happened. We kind of kept getting caught out, and here's the final straw. I knew my team was in a bad position, that when you're down like that, they're probably going to be in your jungle, and you can just assume that. But for some reason, we started to try to set up a trap. Instead, they just kill us, and we lose our first game of the day. Now, the second game, surprise, surprise, we get support again, because, again, we're auto-filling, so, of course, we're going to get support. So, again, just working on my Blitzcrank skills, and I feel like I'm actually not doing a bad job in this game. You can see that I get a few hooks in here, there, and one of the best things that I've learned to do on Blitzcrank is, instead of trying to go for hooks always, is sometimes better just to flash on top of them, knock them up with your E, and then CC them with your hook. It's like a double CC chain. They can't dodge because you flash in, you knock them up before they have a chance to respond, and that, you can see, earns a double kill for our team. Now here's just a nice hook just at the edge of the grab. We can get another kill on Jinx, and this is what I'm talking about with Blitzcrank. You can start really snowballing games, because if your ADC gets a couple kills early game, especially someone like Caitlyn, who scales pretty well into the late game, she's just gonna tear this game up. So getting those important hooks in, you can see I get another one on Zed and try to silence him with my ult before he can do any of his jukes and jiving to get away. This one is just a play that I've been trying to learn and pick up is just making Baron calls when you see the other team out of position. And that's something that in lower elos no one really does. I mean, I'm in silver, so the only time you see these plays happen is when I call them. And, you know, I see Jinx bot lane. I see they don't have any wards. Hey, what could go wrong? Like, you know, even if their team shows up, we're all going to be there to kill them. And if they don't show up, then we get a free Baron. So basically, this snowballs the game. I unfortunately make a bad play here, though, going after Tryndamere and not being really aware of where their team could be. They all collapse on me and kill me. But you know what? As the best player ever of League of Legends, except not at all, my getting caught out actually sets up the game-winning play because their team gets cocky for some reason. And when you're behind, stop going for kills. Take your one and leave and be happy with that. So that actually sets up the victory, though, and now we're sitting at 90 LP. Feels pretty good. Hopefully we can get to silver 2. That is kind of the goal right now as we're playing these games. We are in silver 3, and I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier. But another Blitzkrieg game. You know what? I don't even want to watch this one. Some of these games are so frustrating. I don't want to review them. And that one, let's just say, got ugly real quickly. So, guess what? Another loss. So, anyways, we'll go on to the 4th game. You guys are probably tired of seeing Blitzkrieg. I do have other supports coming up. We just had 4 Blitzkrieg games in a row. So, here's something that I learned on Blitzkrieg, though, is I make a pretty big mistake here, I think this was definitely my fault, and the Vayne kind of chews me out for it later. You know, I land a hook on Zyra, and it kind of baits her to go in, and I move away. And instead of moving away, what I should have been doing really is, probably engaging and fighting and pressing up against the Zyra so that Vayne doesn't take all the damage. And I'm pretty sure we would have had enough damage to kill Zyra. It's just really me being unexperienced in the support role and being unexperienced on Blitzkrieg and not knowing the capabilities. How much damage can I tank? How much damage do I do? And so that's something that I think I need to get better on is knowing your specific champion. Not just on Blitzkrieg. It could be on anyone. And that's a lot of the reason that maybe we're stuck in low elos because we try to play so many champs that we don't really know our champs' capabilities and limits. And right there, I really kind of messed up the Vayne. Luckily I do get a flash hook on Sivir. I thought that was kind of a cheeky little play there that I was kind of proud of. I screwed up the play, but we still get a kill. But you can see that my Vayne actually is kind of raging at me for that play. She kind of talks trash all game. You can see I'm just kind of messing up my hooks, and this game snowballs out of control very quickly, and unfortunately we're not going to make a comeback from this game. So things that I've really learned from that game is, just keep playing the same champion over and over so you know their limitations. You know what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. And if you're able to do that, I feel like you're gonna win at least 5 to 10% more games, which is everything in climbing is all about those small percentages of being able to win 55% of games rather than losing 55% of the games. You're gonna obviously climb a lot more. So part of what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna start going back in these next episodes and trying to play the top lane again. That's where I've found the most success in previous years. I'm kind of rusty at it now because I haven't played as much and I've played a lot of support recently. So you can expect next episode, if you're watching, to see some more tops. I'm not gonna give away. I've already played a few games. I'm not going to give away the specific champs. I'm still looking for the main, but I'm starting to maybe feel like I'm finding a main or two. Last year it was Mordekaiser, but right now I'm not digging him, especially with the Rallies nerfs, and I don't know, he's just gotten boring after a while. So anyways, now we're back to 57 LP. Fun stuff. I'm not even show you the stats because it was a pretty terrible. So as you may have seen, I've been playing a lot of Zyra on my channel as a support. I think she does a lot of damage. I think she's a good way to carry games, but she's also really squishy, and if you watched me play, I've fed in so many different games that it's pretty ridiculous. And here you can see that I almost get caught out and get killed as well. Luckily we're actually able to turn this around with a good snare and some plants and Ashe's damage there. But in case you haven't heard, Zyra is being changed to where if you don't land your Q or E on someone, the plants won't automatically attack them anymore, which is I feel like is a huge nerf to Zyra, especially for me, because I'm more about just trying to poke them with my plants and really really bad at landing my skill shots sometimes. So that's kind of why I'm starting to move away from Zyra. In case you didn't know, this is probably one of my last Zyra games that I'm going to be playing, just because yeah, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's a big nerf, and I feel like it's going to mess me up a lot. I don't feel confident or good enough to be landing all my skill shots. And you can see here in this play as well, just overextending is something that Zyra, I don't know, I struggle on with, because Zyra is such a champion that pushes up the lane. You know, she's got her plants, she's pushing up the lane with her support, and it's very easy to get caught out if you're not careful. So that's also one of the things I really struggle with on Zyra. So we kind of fall behind in this game, but luckily, for whatever reason, the other team's getting us free kills. I don't know what that Lee Sin was thinking. Did you guys see that? I mean, that was just absolutely ridiculous what he thought he could do. So yes, we started this game behind, but they're starting to throw. Something that I kind of feel like I really messed up here is, you know, I got kind of greedy in this team fight, and I flashed in to try to land the ultimate. I was like, oh, Alawi's going in, and you know, I need to land some CC. It would be awesome. So I flash in, try to throw down my ultimate. Sadly, though, my ultimate doesn't even hit anyone. So it's just a really kind of dumb mistake. I should have been looking for my carries to peel anyways. And, you know, if I was going to flash in, it should have been after I landed my E or something, or at least have landed some slows with my Rylai, so I could have landed a better ultimate down instead. So here, again, setting up another Baron play. We do get a pick onto Darius in the mid lane just a little bit earlier. The other team is just kind of screwing around, I guess, in the mid lane. So I'm like, guys, let's just go for it. They don't have wards. We clear it out. It was a little risky, though, because we don't have Fizz here. Now, you may wonder why I just laid out my ultimate there. Sorry, guys. Someone was soliciting at my apartment that has no soliciting specifically implied. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Interrupted my recording. But anyways, I was saying I laid down my ultimate because I was thinking that they would try to come in and contest the Baron that we were doing. And so I just kind of like, well, might as well throw out my ultimate to make sure they can't come in and steal it. And we don't have to worry about anything, just zone them out. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Unfortunately, though, we get greedy on the push, and I don't feel like I did terrible in that team fight. I think, you know, we just weren't very coordinated as a team, as often happens in solo queue. So, unfortunately, when we get the Baron, we start to throw as we are sieging, and, yeah, it quickly turns south from there. But, as you can see, luckily, we are setting up another Baron because we did get the bottom inhibitor with the Baron last time. So we were able to kind of set up a Baron to say, hey, they're going to be pushing in the bot lane. Things are going to go out of control for them. And this is the opportunity that we have to set up the Baron and kind of force them. So you can see, and initially in the team fight, I step up too far forward. That was a very big mistake of, you know, I shouldn't be up there with just my ADC walking in blindly, because they're just going to burst me down. But luckily, you can see I'm doing a little celebration because Yi and some others and Ashe kind of pick up the fight, and we actually outpower them, outdamage them, especially with the Yi kind of popping off and Alawi being able to do a lot of damage in close quarters. So that does give us the W, even in a game that we kind of struggled to do a lot. Now, you may be looking at this next video like, what? What? What are you doing, Luke and Low? What is your problem? You're playing Nasus support? How does that work? How can you stack your Q? Well, as you may have seen in the earlier video, we are doing AP Nasus. And I've done it in the mid lane and the top lane. It actually worked quite well. So I'm like, well, if my mage support Zyra is getting nerfed and I don't really like her right now, might as well try my man Nasus in the support. The way this works, though, is basically you want to max your E. You're going to get Frost Queens and Frost Fangs so that your E actually stacks up the gold very quickly, and you're basically just a poke champion. So you can see there, I actually set up a play with some of my E damage there. Stupidly walk straight into a Varus, whatever you want to call him. And unfortunately, I die there when I didn't really need to die at all. But hey, we get a couple kills for our team. We get the dragon. And as you can see, I'm not doing great on this AP Nasus, or at least you'll start to see, because I always forget when I play AP Nasus how squishy I actually am. It's quite surprising because usually, you know, when you play Nasus, you think you're a tank, and you can see I just get exploded when Sion comes in, and that's something that I should have been aware of. Once you hear Sion's ult, get the heck out of there and don't group up, because if he hits one of you, then at least he won't hit the second one. But you can see that my damage is starting to come through. You can see I just did half the health to Annie. Unfortunately, though, I'm getting caught out over and over again with the AP Nasus, as again, I'm pretty squishy. But the thing that I did actually enjoy about him is that we were able to push the lane together as a support and ADC very quickly, and very easy to harass them. I mean, look at the area of that E. When you put that underneath their tower and they're trying to farm, it's very annoying. And so it's actually just I feel like AP Nasus support kind of works in the way where you can mess up the other ADC and help your ADC to get a lot more farm. And you can see with the combo of me and Misfortune just landing an E and then her ultimate going off, I mean, we just wreck Varus right away. Varus. Why do I keep calling him Varus? How do you say Varus? Varus. Whatever. Anyways, you can see that we're starting to do more damage, and our siege potential because of our poke is pretty awesome, I would say. So the thing that if you want to play AP Nasus, I don't know if I would recommend as support. I don't know if I'm going to keep playing it. We do win this game, even though I was pretty bad, but basically, if you're playing AP Nasus, my suggestions would be you want to max E, then max W, because the important thing about AP Nasus is throwing out your E and then being able to W wither people and slowly kind of kite them away until your E comes back again, because that's all your damage is in that one ability, and the rest of them are basically just for the CC. Your Q is almost, dare I say, pointless, because it doesn't really do much damage if you're not stacking it up, which is what we're not doing as support. So anyways, you see that we win. We qualify for our series to get into Silver 2, and this is our next game. And we're playing AP Nasus again in the support. And you're like, Luke, you are crazy for doing this, especially in your promo series. What are you thinking? But this time you can actually see, I feel like I actually did better in this game. And our ADC gets pretty far ahead, at least in farm, to the other team, which is awesome, which would normally set us up for a win. But unfortunately, as you can see, our Maokai is getting dumpstered. For some reason, we let a Camille come through, and so she is a very big problem in this fight. However, though, we catch them getting Baron. And so when we do that, all we do is we kind of dive in, use our damage, and I don't know what they were thinking. Literally, though, this is not a replay. It happens about 2 minutes later. Zach dives in. I actually flash in to try to get some damage with my E. You can see I kind of miss some of it, but luckily some of them walk back into it, and we get the kill onto Yasuo. And Zach gets the Baron steal, which was awesome. So definitely worth it to flash in. But unfortunately, even though we get the Baron, there's not much we can do. This Camille is very overpowered right now. She's tanky. She's doing a ton of damage. She's doing a ton of CC. You can see that our whole team is trying to burst her down, but she even has a GA by this point. I get caught out by her. I die, so I don't do any damage hardly during this team fight. Pretty much pointless support right there. And so pretty much from there, it snowballs out of control, and quickly we are going to lose this game, even though I feel like I didn't do that bad. Now, my thoughts on AP Nasus support, it's maybe an interesting pick if you're playing with a friend and you want to snowball your ADC, but honestly, it just wasn't as strong as AP Nasus in the mid or top lane, where I feel like I actually did a ton of damage, a ton of bullying, and won my lanes. This one, I feel like I won the lane, but in the late game, I feel like I was more useless than helpful. I mean, I had a little bit of peel with my W, and I had a little bit of damage, but just not enough to make it worth it like I felt with my top lane and mid lane AP Nasus. And you can see I'm just kind of disheveled. Look at the look at my face. I'm very mad that we lost this game because bot lane, we did do good, and it was my promo, so pretty upset about that. But that's where we're going to end the video this week, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll let you know next week what happens in the series. We are 1-1 in our promos at this point. I mean, I've already played them, so I don't want to give it away, though, because I want you guys to watch next week what happens as I put in next week's video. So thank you guys again for watching. Have a great week. And if you are playing League of Legends, let me know what you guys think about this video. Give me some comments. Give me some thoughts, some suggestions. And if you want to play League with me, just give me a comment and see if we can find a time to do that. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.